Da 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 da.
Hey, that tune sounds familiar, Liz. What's the name of that song?
Don't you remember those old songs that remind us of how things used to be a few years back?
Yeah, those are terrific.
Well, that's one of them, Dearie.
What's the name of it?
I just told you, Dearie.
No, you didn't, dearie. Oh, never mind. Why don't you just sing a few lines and maybe the name will come back to you?
That's a great idea. Dearie, do you remember when we waltzed to the Sousa band? My, wasn't the music grand? Chowder parties down by the seashore every 4th of July.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Why? What's wrong?
You're reminiscing about things that never happened in our lifetime. The Sousa band, that was more than 100 years ago. Down by the seashore. There's no seashore in Pittsburgh. Don't you think that you could sing about something that you and I could actually remember from a few years ago?
Give me a second. I'll think of something. Okay, see if you remember this. Dearie, do you remember when the web was what a spider wove? Pot was something you put on a stove. Your dreamboat would never marry you if you couldn't bake a pot. Test your memory, my dearie. Do you recall when Bogey said, "Here's looking at you, kid"? Twitter was what the birdies did. Dearie, life was cheery in the good old days gone by.
Sure was.
Do you remember?
I do.
If you remember, then dearie, you're much older than I.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure that's fair. I don't think you were born yesterday. Let's just see if you can remember a few things, okay? How about trying this one on for size? Just listen. Dearie, do you remember when a gallon of gas cost 30 cents? Jeans were only worn by gents. Fancy restaurants wouldn't serve a guy if he wasn't wearing a tie. Here's a good one for you. Dearie, do you remember when the Pirates spoiled the Yankee plans? Vasilevsky hit one into the stands. Dearie, life was cheery in the good old days gone by. Do you remember? If you remember, then dearie, you're much older than I.
Oh no, I don't think so. I'm sure you remember all those things and much more. In fact, here's something I'll bet you remember. Now tell me, dearie, do you remember when under Kaufman's clock was where we met? Drive-ins are where we would pet. I never told my mama about that hand going up my thigh. Test your memory, my dearie. Do you remember when Eugene Autry sang Home on the Range? The cashier knew how to count your change. Dearie, life was cheery in the good old days gone by. Do you remember? If you remember, then dearie, you're much older than I. Okay, your turn.
Hey, don't stop. You're on a roll. Keep going.
No, you go ahead. Age before beauty, I insist.
Well, if you insist. Tell me, dearie, do you recall when Ginger Rogers danced with Fred Astaire? Terry Bradshaw still had hair. People still rave about the touchdown pass. The choices were do or die. Here's another one, my dearie. Do you remember when, if ever you talked out loud in class, the teacher whacked you
On your hand.
Dearie, life was cheery
In the good old days gone by.
Do you remember?
If you remember,
Then dearie, you're much older than.
You're much older than.
You're much older than.
Oh no, you're
much older than. Remember seeing those Wright brothers take off with their airplane at Kitty Hawk?
No, remember those pilgrims landing at Plymouth Rock?
Remember when Columbus discovered America?
Remember the 10 Commandments?
Remember when the snake tempted you to eat that apple?
Were you ribbing me?
Dearie, life was cheery in the good old days gone by.